Okay. Okay. So guys, I just wanted to clear this few things with you. In our batch, what we used to do is I'm not going to mute you for a first, and then I'll explain you in one go, and then you can unmute and you can ask the question. So what is the strategy in my batch is like you will be always, you can unmute yourself. But like being a professional, we like I rely on you that you will not disturb the regular classes, right? I believe in the regular interval, what you can do is after completion of the topic, you can shoot your questions, right? So that's what level of understanding that I wanted from you. Second, whatever your doubts, right, whatever your doubts that you have, you can reach out to me, and we will try to solve that doubts in the next particular weekends, right, or next in the next classes, right? Because I believe that if you are you're coming with the doubts, that particular doubt we're gonna share that doubt with everyone, and it could be possible that the same doubt could like most of us will have that doubt as well. So we'll discuss that doubt, right? And then we will try to solve it. So that's what I just wanted to explain, that this is like we are not going to mute everyone and all. So quickly, without wasting a time, I'll just move ahead with Python network automation stuff. Okay. So I guess this, like, about me, you all know, because most of the time you could be like you know very well. Now let's move towards this slide. I believe that you all know who developed Python is GVR, right? In 1999, GVR developed the Python. But in the demo section, I just told this, that GVR developed Python in 1999 and all, and 2006 it has been more popular. So I'll quickly tell you the history of Python, because being a network automation developer, you should know that from where the Python has been developed, right? So when GVR was in Google, he has developed this language in the Google only. Then he switched his career to the Dropbox. Then he switched his career to the Microsoft. Right now, he is a working professional in Microsoft. So what happened at that time is when GVR has developed that language, he so you can have a look of this gap, guys. Right? Whatever this gap is 1999 to 2006. GVR took this time to integrate like that particular Python language with most of the frameworks, right? But during that, what happened is Java has already been implemented in 1995. But within few time, or we can say within few months or few years, Java has been more popular with the users, because most of the, like, you can you can see this, that 3 million devices run Java, right, within few years. So how this Python has been, like, we can say the Python went on a back foot, and Java come forward, and then everyone started using Java, and the craze of Java in the markets gets higher. But why not Python? Nowadays, Python came across, or most of the organization want a Python developer, right? Most of the organization want Python developer in their industry because they wanted to use Python rather than Java. The biggest reason of using Python now is Google has already started their frameworks, right? Framework, it means that whatever website that you will able to see in the background, Python is working, right? So Google has modified their code content, and they have started implementing or developing the codes in the Python only. And we all knows the funda of professional in the IT field is like, if one of the MNCs get started with the new technology, we all have to follow it, right? Then Google, as well as when the GVR went to Dropbox also started working on it. Then GVR went to Microsoft. Then Microsoft also has started using Python in the background. So in this way, the journey of Python has happened. Now, I hope you're clear like how the journey of Python started. Let's move ahead with the next slides, and let's see. Okay. Now from here, we will not go much theoretical. I know that it's a morning time, and that's the main concern that explaining this theoretical part to you guys. Just bear with me for 2-3 slides, and quickly we will compare that how to install Python and then how you can run the Python in your system, right? So Python is an interpreted, interactive, and object-oriented programming language. See, guys, being a network developer, if you want to change your career to the network automation, the first question of the interview will be this: is the Python is interpreted? Then prove it. Why it is interpreted, right? And interpreted, interactive, and object-oriented. Let's understand point by point. First is interpreted. I hope that you have ever at least worked on C language, right? In the college days, we all have to learn C language. So what was happened in C language? What in C language, guys? Let's say this is your code, right? This is your C code .c file, you can say. Whenever if you're running your code, it went through two parameters, or let's say two containers. First, you can say compiler, and second is runtime. I'll tell you, don't worry about it. Let's say I'm a user who is running this file. Whenever if you're running this file now, guys, it's been compiling. Now, what is meant by compiling? Compiling is, let's say if you're writing something in the C code, what this compiler will do, it will evaluate these lines in the background, that is there any error in this line or not, is this line is correct or not, is syntax is correct or not, right? Your code will evaluate here only, it will not go here. This is your display screen, you can say. This is your display screen, right? In the runtime, you can say. So C was doing that. It was compiling the error or compiling the code in the background, and if everything works okay, then it is shooting that particular output into the runtime. Now, what Python says to us is, I don't want this compilation logic. What Python is saying that I don't want this compilation work thing. What Python is doing, great, rather than compiling, let's compile and run at the same time. Let's compile and run at the same time. Now, what is the advantage for it? That if you're not compiling the code in the background, the memory will get stored, right? The memory users will get lesser. Now, if we are running this code directly on the runtime, the way or the execution time will be more, right? That is the second advantage. As well as if we are skipping entire this one step, right? If you are skipping this entire one step, whatever error that we're gonna get, our code will stop at that line, right? Now, let's prove this with the help of coding. Whatever that we just discussed, let's prove that with the help of coding. Now, guys, I wanted to tell you one thing. So let's say if you are in the office, right, and you want to run some Python course. Rather than that, rather than opening your PyCharm and all, simply type on Google online interpreter and go to this interpreter. Okay? This is the online interpreter. Now here you can see main.py. Don't worry about what is the extensions of Python file and all. We have slides for that. We're gonna learn. But I just wanted to give you, yeah, anyone has any questions? Okay. Now, guys, please be on mute. Okay. So here I'm just giving you overview of online interpreter, right? So here what we are doing is print hello world. What is print, guys? Print is just giving the message to the user. What is my print? Is just giving the message to the user. In the C, what we used to do, printf. In the C++, what we used to use, cout, right? So the same logic that we are implementing in the Python is print, right? Print hello world. If we run this code here only, guys, you will get the message as hello world. Get the message as hello world. Now let's compare why and how it is interpreted language. Let me open C compiler as well side by side. Okay, this is C. See, I'm getting the same message hello world over here. Now here what I'm doing is print 2 divided by 0. What I'm printing? Print 2 divided by 0. Let's run the code. Right? let's run the code. What I'm getting error, right? Because I'm sorry, I made a syntax error. It should be printf because it's C, not Python, right? So let me cut this line for a while and let's put after hello world. Right? Let's run the code now. See, I'm getting floating point exception error. The error name is floating point exception. But what that you understand now, what in this is compilation, or you can say compiler. Guys, am I audible or my voice is breaking in between?
Yeah,
And even
little bit it's breaking, but you are audible.
okay.
Yes, there is breaking.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so
Cool. So this is the runtime. Now, what is happening is with this C code is whatever code that we have written over here, C is compiling that particular code in the background. And while compiling, C has observed, okay, this line is incorrect. And that's the reason I need to shoot the error, which is named as floating point exception. But my concern is that's fine that this line has error. But what about this line? This line is correct, right? So at least give the output of this. No, that's the main work of this compiler. And hence in Python, we are not using this compiler because we want output of this line because there is no issues in this line. Or being a new person, he will don't understand what is this floating point exception or in which line there is error, right? And that's the main concern, that Python is easy to learn, right? Now let's do the same logic in the Python. What I'm doing is here I'm writing print 2 divided by 0. Can anyone quickly answer what is 2 divided by 0? What will be the result in math? Anyone?
Infinity.
Infinity. Good. So Python will not understand what is infinity, guys. That's the main concern. If we will, Python or any compiler language will not understand what is infinity. And that's the main purpose. We are using the same command that will get error in between, through that particular command. Now let's run the same code. See, here, if I run the same code in the Python, I am getting result. See, hello world. But on the line number 4, I am getting 0 division error. I'm getting 0 division error. Why? Because Python always runs their code in the runtime. If someone asks you, what is the difference between C or in the Python, always keep in mind, Python has runtime compilation, right? Always Python runs the code line by line. This is the major keyword that you need to keep in mind. Python runs their code line by line, right? So what is happening over here? Interpreter will go over here. It will print hello world, right? What? Because there is no error in this line. Hence, I'm printing this. That is what the Python is saying. Now, Python interpreter will goes to this particular line, print 2 divided by 0. Oh, there is an error. I don't know what is 2 divided by 0. Hence, I'll shoot the error, right? Until this part. Anyone has any issues?
Bro,